Well, what you wish for earlier, we were like, wow, there's nothing going on in the futures. We're down 20 points on the Dow, and we had just fractional losses. And here you go. It has turned into this. Tom Lee, significant declines now, especially after what happened last week on Friday. Tom Lee's here, Fundstrat Global Advisors, Chief Investment Officer, and a CNBC contributor. This is not this is a Grinch rally. Or the Grinch sell-off. This is not a Santa Claus rally. It's not going as planned, Tom.
It's not. I think investors have been a bit nervous since December 18th, the FOMC rate decision, and worried that the Fed may not be as dovish as investors previously thought. But I think fundamentals have remained intact. So to us, I think this is a bit disappointing, but it's, I think, a bit of profit taking, some hesitancy around the Fed. But I think it doesn't really change that 2025 is shaping up to have a lot of tailwinds.
So this just delays some of the continuation in a secular bull market that you've been talking about?
That's right. I mean, I think one of the lessons of 2024 has been we've seen periods of market wobbling and weakness. We know investors get pretty quick to turn bearish when that happens, but it turns out that these have all proven to be buying opportunities. I don't think there's a lot of signal to me that December's been a weak month. It is obviously disappointing because it should be a seasonally strong period, but if we end down even S&P 5,900 into year end, I don't think it just changes that in 2025. There's a lot to look forward to.
So what you thought might happen this year being put off. So what does that mean for next year? Let's say the first half of next year. What do you think we're in for? And, with valuations and where multiples are right now, with all that in mind, do you think it could be a really positive first half of the year?
I do think that one of the things that we're watching most closely is what happens to CEO confidence early next year. We know they've been cautious for the last 2.5 years. It's really evident in looking at measures like the ISM manufacturing that's been below 50 since October 2022. And that's highly correlated with S&P earnings growth. I do think that that's going to finally recover to above 50, kind of signaling that we're back into an expansionary CEO mindset. It is purchasing managers. On top of that, we have an incoming administration that ultimately is going to be viewed by markets as pro-business, and I think that reignites animal spirits. And I think the Fed is going to prove to be dovish, even if they're trying to figure out where neutral is. They're still supportive of markets. It's a good combination for I think upside for equity. So
Jensen Huang, the esteemed CEO of Nvidia, is set to inaugurate the event, marking a pivotal occasion that transcends the routine keynote speech. Known for its dominance in the rapidly advancing field of artificial intelligence, AI chips, and associated technologies, Nvidia has become a bellwether for the future of tech. The company's substantial impact on both industries makes this event a critical juncture not only for investors but also for tech aficionados who eagerly await hints of what lies ahead. Over the past year, Nvidia's stock has skyrocketed by an incredible 172%, generating widespread enthusiasm about the potential announcements or technological breakthroughs that could be revealed during CES. Despite the swirling excitement, Nvidia has kept specific details under a veil of secrecy, intensifying the suspense and keeping market watchers on edge as they await what promises to be Nvidia's most dynamic and impactful presentation to date. Welcome back, everyone, to Investocracy.
In the first half of next year, I think S&P can get close to 7,000, and that's a lot of upside from here.
7,000. You've made some prescient calls about inflation, or about the markets based on inflation. Do you think recent worries that it's reheating are misplaced right now?
I do think inflation worries are misplaced. I know there's a lot of folks calling for a resurgence of inflation, and I know for whatever reason January typically doesn't seem to be seasonally adjusted away, so we could see what looks like a surge in January CPI. But to me, the drivers of inflation are wages, and the Fed has said the labor market is not in a place that is inflationary. It's shelter, and we know shelter is really just catching up from the gap between where market prices are, which is not as inflationary, to how the statistical adjustments get CPI to where that needs to be. And we know auto insurance has really distorted CPI to the upside for the last few years, and that's cooling. So unless there is a supply shock coming, I don't know exactly why we would have a second wave of inflation. So to me, I think there's downside risk to inflation in 2025.
The crescendo of anticipation is reaching its peak as the much-awaited moment at CES edges ever closer. Jensen Huang, the visionary architect of NVIDIA's groundbreaking triumphs, is poised to take center stage with his opening address. This year, the event is drawing an incredibly diverse audience, with more than 138,000 attendees expected, among whom 40% hail from countries outside the US. This robust global attendance underscores the immense interest in the innovations NVIDIA might introduce this year. The collective questions on everyone's minds resonate with curiosity and expectation. Will NVIDIA unveil revolutionary new products? Can Huang's keynote captivate the global audience to such an extent that it redefines NVIDIA's future path? Reflecting on CES 2024, NVIDIA previously captivated attendees with trailblazing advancements in generative AI, high-performance gaming GPUs, and strategic alliances with electric vehicle manufacturers to push the boundaries of automated driving systems. These announcements were not only compelling, but also had a palpable effect on NVIDIA's stock performance, as evidenced by the notable surge in its valuation, underscoring the profound impact of such announcements on investor sentiment. But before going on with the video, are you into cryptocurrency? If so, check out our second channel, Investocracy Crypto. We bring you breaking news, expert analysis, and the latest trends in the fast-moving world of digital assets. Whether you're a seasoned crypto investor or just curious about the future of finance, we've got something for you. Click the link in the description to subscribe to Investocracy Crypto now. Don't miss out and stay ahead of the game. Now, let's get back to the video.
We're coming off
David,
2 great years for the broader markets. Can we make it a third in 2025?
We could, but I think if you look at history, I think the only other time that we've had 220 pluses go into the third year was 1999, and whoa, then we got way too overpriced and we got to 2000. So I really think we're going to take a pause this next year. One thing is true about the markets, as an old saying, is that whenever everybody expects something to happen to the market in the future, it's not going to happen. Everyone expected that, we're going to have the Santa Claus rally. Everyone said, oh yeah, it always rises between Christmas and New Year's. And I warned a few weeks ago, I said, yeah, when everyone says that, they buy up before then, and then when it comes, there's disappointment. And, I think maybe we're seeing a little bit of that right now.
Against the backdrop of a 172% climb in stock value this year, NVIDIA recently saw minor fluctuations, closing at $134.70 on December 20th, a stone's throw away from its historical peak. Analysts view this not as a setback, but as a potentially fertile ground for a new surge, especially if CES catalyzes exceptional innovation announcements. The optimism is further fueled by the potential of a Santa Claus rally, a phenomenon referring to widespread gains in stock markets during the holiday period. This scenario adds layers of intrigue to NVIDIA's future stock performance. As the fourth quarter forecasts for fiscal 2025 loom, NVIDIA is poised to release financial results that many believe will yield additional validation of its market strategy and achievements. Projections driven by data indicate ongoing robust growth, fueled by NVIDIA's unparalleled command over the burgeoning AI sector it has so deftly mastered. But before going any further, if you made it this far into the video, thank you. These videos take a lot of effort and time to make, so if you enjoyed them, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. This goes a long way in helping us grow. That said, back to the video.
Is there an expectation, perhaps, that we're going to have another strong year and therefore going to be disappointed?
I think there might be some disappointment. As time has gone on, I think the probability of a correction next year, which is defined as a 10% drop in the S&P is getting higher. I'm not saying it's a sure thing. Nothing is a sure thing in the market. But the major forces to propel things upward, I think have already been built in. We still have, we talk about 22 times earnings on 16, 17% gains of earnings, which is, also far higher than historical. So I see a little bit more risk on the downside, and I'm a bull on the market. I'm long term. I'm not saying sell, but I see more risks. Not as optimistic as Tom Lee was right at the end of Squawk Box, and I admire him dramatically. But I think that we have challenges next year because of all the optimism that has been built in this year.
In the midst of inevitable short-term market fluctuations, Nvidia stands as a beacon of long-term investment promise. Whether or not Huang's CES keynote elicits an immediate wow factor, the core strength of Nvidia lies entrenched in its pioneering advancements in AI technology. As various industries increasingly weave AI into the fabric of their operations and products, Nvidia is optimally positioned to leverage this significant trend. Looking ahead, past the initial excitement of CES and any potential Santa Claus rally, the earnings announcement expected in February offers a crucial opportunity to buttress Nvidia's trajectory of sustained growth. For investors contemplating future strategies, it is a moment to consider. If one has faith in the relentless evolution of technology and AI, isn't aligning with one of its foremost ambassadors a sensible choice? Nvidia, with its tremendous capacity for innovation, remains well-rooted on solid grounds. As we collectively anticipate the insights and revelations to be unveiled during Jensen Huang's keynote and the subsequent announcements at CES, one question lingers. Are we witnessing just the beginning of Nvidia's role in reshaping tomorrow's technology landscape today? And finally, if you would like to know what companies like Nvidia have been up to these past few days, go ahead and click on the next video on your screen. See you there.